Hello everyone, welcome. This is Cabin of Reza. My name is Reza, and this is our sports show. We talk about different kinds of sports here, but today, because I was sick for a while and I was on a trip, I'm not ready to talk about all kinds of sport. And we just talk about football with a note that F1 uh, United States Grand Prix happened last night, and Max won it. The competition for teams is over. McLaren won it last game in Singapore, but for drivers, it just becoming closer and closer with a few races to go. And yeah, we will talk about it later. I just wanted to note that. And let's talk about football. We talk about top five leagues and let's start with Premier League. The first game was Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. I'm looking at the results. If I want to be honest, I don't remember every match. Uh, Chelsea won 3-0. I watched about half an hour of that, the third goal of Chelsea, and of course, the red card. The interesting point of the game was that Chelsea is getting red card every game, and almost every game, and they're not stopping. This is an issue, and they kind of got damaged by it in a few games, and maybe in a few games in the future if they don't stop. And the thing about the red card was that they were 3-0 up, and it was so unnecessary. What's going on with them? Maybe they should think about it really. But a good win for them. Nonetheless, I just watched the last 30 minutes, so I heard Nottingham Forest was very good in the first half, but at the end of the day, they lost 3-0, and Ange fired. Um, I don't know about you. If I want to be honest, I saw that coming from the first day they appointed him. I think a lot of people did. It was a very hard job coming to a club where the manager is loved. Okay, the manager who got fired is loved and got the best result in last God knows how long, decades, and brought this team after so many years to Europe. And it's a very hard place to be, to replace someone. It was a tough job, and there are a few guesses about who will replace Ange. I don't know who will it be, but they will not have an easy job either. And Ange situation was controversial, winning the Euro with Tottenham, but finishing 17. But now it's just even more complicated, so I don't know if it's gonna work in Premier League anytime soon. But I think with this, it's with Potter and Nuno in the West Ham. Now we had three fires. Kind of feels early for Premier League. I don't know, but we should see what will happen later. Amorim was quite close. Uh, he was quite close, I think. Uh, but for now, he's in a good situation. We will talk about it also. Sunderland Wolves 2-0 to Sunderland. Wolves are in trouble. They're not doing very well, and you can kind of see them in Championship already unless something changes. Sunderland getting the result to stay in the Premier League to replace Wolves, maybe exactly exact replacement. Burnley against Leeds 2-0 to Burnley. Leeds doing good at home but horrible away. And I don't know, it's very complicated with Leeds. I always think that, oh, they got it, they stay in the Premier League, and the next game they just lose. And I don't know. Anytime I'm getting sure that they have it, they just lose it, and I don't know. It's very complicated for me to see their future. And Crystal Palace against Bournemouth, uh, the match of the week, 3-3. Bournemouth being 2 up, then Palace reach up to them, and then of course Bournemouth make it 3-2. Again, a penalty last minute, 3-3. Crazy game. I missed it to watch Man City Everton, if I want to be honest, and I kind of regret it. But the big thing was that let me see. I'm not very good with names, so I have to check to pronounce them well. Mateta. I was saying it right. Mateta. Yeah, I shouldn't doubt myself like that. But I'm very bad in the pronunciation, and I can't remember any names, so I'm sorry. Mateta scored a hat trick for Palace, and he scored 5 goals in total, which is pretty good for him. Brighton against Newcastle, 2-1 to Brighton. Welbeck scored twice, and he's having a good season. He's 34, and for me, who is a United fan, I remember him then. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of weird that he's still playing and doing very well in Premier League. It seems so far when I remember him playing, and most of the players, of course, he was quite young, but most of the players kind of in mind should retire from back then and should be retired, and they are. So it's very interesting. Man City against Everton 2-0. What was interesting, I watched that match. What was interesting for me was that Everton really didn't put the effort to even make it a draw, or they did defend kind of well, but at first, but I think they were okay with the loss. Holland scored twice. He's on fire, and he missed a few good chances at the end. But yeah, he scored twice, so you can't complain about his performance. But he was a bit unhappy for missing those chances. Uh, Arsenal Fulham. I watched that match too. It was 1-0 for Arsenal. Um, it's just the same with Arsenal. They are stable. They know what they want, and they are focused and relied on set pieces. And they scored on one, and they get the result, and just go on, and they're on the top of the league. Um, I think they're gonna win it. Let's say it. I predict that unless something changes, they're gonna win it, and the team to beat is Man City, not Liverpool or Tottenham or Chelsea. Man City had 1-2 game, a little bit shaky, had it a little bit shaky, but they're quite good. Especially Holland is exactly on the form you want him to be if you're a City fan or City coach. But I think Arsenal will still get the win. At least for now, it seems like this. They're quite stable, very consistent. I don't know. They're in it to win it. Yeah. After 3 seasons of being second. Aston Villa Tottenham, a very exciting match. I watched this one too yesterday, and Tottenham being pretty good. Aston Villa kind of sleep at the start, I guess. They kind of woke up in the middle, but they had a comeback 2-1 for them, and they're both teams were playing quite good, especially offensively. And it's one of those matches that it could be any result, and you will be like, yeah, it makes sense. So Tottenham could win it, and you would be like, yeah, sure. And it was very exciting to watch. I would say that. And the last game that was played yesterday, Manchester United Liverpool. Uh, I'm a United fan. Amorim being so much under pressure just a few weeks ago, and a lot of people saying he should be fired. And now 2 wins in a row, winning Liverpool at one field, that never happened since 2016. No, yeah, 2016 with Wayne Rooney goal, and Liverpool being in trouble, but the champion of the last year, still pretty good players, spending lots of money. It was a good win for United. Uh, if I should talk about the game, before that, Liverpool lost 4 games in a row, kind of in trouble. Carragher was saying last night it's because they're not very good at set pieces, defending or offensive. Um, I agree with him, and I think that's becoming very much a trend. Set pieces, long balls, throw-ins, long throw-ins to the box. Uh, it's not the most beautiful football, but it's trendy and it's working, so teams want to win no matter what, and the managers. So Liverpool are not very good in that. Beside that, talking about the match itself, Liverpool had many chances to win the game. They just didn't use it very well. Salah not being himself at all. New players still shaky. Isaac, I, I, I think is getting better and better. Uh, the goalkeeper instead of Alisson, he's not at the same level. Uh, I don't know for Liverpool. I think though still because he still is playing and giving chances to new players, they gonna find their form eventually. I don't think they're in so much trouble, but I, they must change it immediately or they lose all the competition. There is no trophy for them this season if they continue this way. But they're not in big trouble. They can recover. I, that's at least how I see it. Let's go to Bundesliga. Uh, I try to be quicker. Here, Leverkusen won 4-3 against Mainz. Um, good game, I didn't watch it. Stuttgart 3-0, Leipzig 2-1. So all the competitors coming to Bayern Munich, if there is any kind of one, except Borussia Dortmund. And that's the game I watched, the only game, if I want to be honest, I watched in Bundesliga, their Klassiker, Bayern again this week. I mean, the only game I watched this week, just to be clear. Uh, Bayern against Borussia Dortmund. First half completely in hand of Bayern. They were doing all they wanted, scoring 1 goal. Harry Kane being just brilliant. Second half, Dortmund really just woke up and just decided to be violent and aggressive and finally attack and show their power and their will to actually get a point here and don't fall back in the competition of the top of the league. They did eventually. Jude Bellingham did a mistake. Bayern Munich scored. Dortmund scored again. And Brandt, if I pronounce his name right, came as a substitution and scored. But nonetheless, even though Dortmund was a little bit better and more dominant in the second half, I feel like how can I say it? Bayern Munich kind of was giving it a rest for the European match that they had. They weren't trying their best. They were just trying to do the counter attack, and it still worked for them. They got the result and a 2-1, and they're on the top of the league. Still the best team in Europe, I think, and they look so violent and like a beast in Europe. Very scary for anyone meeting them in Europe, if I want to be honest. Uh, Going to La Liga, uh, Sevilla lost. Very weird situation. Still better than the last season, but still quite weird. And they're they're just. Let me just stop for a second. Okay, it was a bird sound, but it's quite weird, and I never heard such a voice before. I thought it's I thought it's a pipe leaking. Actually, it's a very weird sound. Sevilla is better than the last season, but still not quite good. Um, it's a retirement club, and they are just acting very weird by the results. They're sometimes so fresh, so ready. Sometimes, just you just can't watch them. That aside, Atletico won, trying their best to get the third place again, but they were a little bit down even on that. But now they're catching up. Barcelona versus Girona. I watched that game. 2-1 to Barcelona. It was a very hard game for Barcelona, I think. Barcelona is just so bad in the comebacks, in the counter attacks. Sorry, it's just so bad in counter attacks. Uh, they're very good offensively, but their defense, they just put three defense at the back, and they can get easily overwhelmed. It's quite weird. They have this issue in multiple matches. You could see that, but it is quite weird. And yeah, they should think of something for that. Hansi Flick got fired. After getting fired, he showed that maybe a little bit inappropriate celebration, uh, and he will lose the El Clasico match to be next to the line. Real Madrid Getafe 1-0. It was a hard match for Real Madrid too. Uh, they couldn't break through Getafe. It was quite hard. Vinny coming in and being fast. It was a very weird situation. One of the soft players, a few seconds even after coming in, did a very weird foul on Vinny. Kind of punched him like a box. I don't know. It was quite weird. He got the red card immediately after that with a pass from Goulart. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. I'm trying my best. Goulart passed to Mbappe and he scored. They got another red card too, Getafe. It was after that against foul on Vinny. Um, it was a very weird game at the end, and they got a 1v1 where Courtois kind of saved the game. For Real Madrid, it was a very tough win in Getafe for them, and the only thing I can say is that Goulart Mbappe are the best duo right now in Real Madrid, and everyone else seems to fall short a little bit except Courtois, at least in my eyes. And Real Madrid has its issues, same as Barcelona, and they're maybe in trouble in Europe. Uh, that said, let's go to League One. Lille won, Lens won, Lyon lost. Paris Saint Germain got a draw against Strasbourg 3-3. And it was a very very interesting game. Paris Saint Germain scored first. Strasbourg scored three times after, and then they had to come back and make it 3-3 Paris Saint Germain. But they lost the top of the league for now. Marseille won 6-2. Mason Greenwood scored 4 goals in that game, and they are on the top of the league. And yeah, that's about that. Strasbourg is a good team, like this season. They're third, even after this draw. So just to mention, Serie A, Inter against Roma 1-0 to Inter. It was an early goal, and they just kept it. One of the interesting things was Napoli losing. They didn't have Rasmus Højlund or McTominay and a lot of other injured players, but they are kind of in trouble. When they didn't have Kevin De Bruyne, they were in trouble. Now they don't have a few others, they're in trouble. Like, it seems their bench doesn't have the depth that can cover their injuries, and they become quite weak when a few players are not there. And they lost to Torino 1-0. I watched the game between Como and Juventus, 2-0 to Como. If I want to be honest, it was a hard watch if you're a Juventus fan. I'm not, but it was a very hard watch if you were. Como was the better team, period. It wasn't like an underdog story. It wasn't like they and Juventus had the chances, Como won. No, Como just was just better, all in all. And they won 2-0. Juventus, I watched 4 or 5 games of Juventus throughout this season, and they're not. I mean, if I was a Juventus fan, I would be happy with the Champions League or European competition, and that's it. They're not gonna win with this way of playing and with these players a little bit. Yeah, I think they need 1, 2 players to kind of make things better, at least. And Como, of course, everyone, if you need to know, everyone is talking about Nico Paz doing an assist and a goal, and I think it's 4 assists, 4 goals this season. He used to be a Real Madrid player, and from their academy, came by loan here, and now he's the common player. But they have a buyback kind of clause in their contract, so they can buy him back quite cheap, for 10, 12 million, something in between. Um, while some teams said that they're gonna pay for Nico Paz something about 60 million. So he's the talent, he's 21, everyone talking about him. After the last match, especially, so he's the player to look in Serie A. And the last game I want to talk about is Fiorentina against Milan. I watched this match too. Milan winning it 2-1, and Rafael Leao scoring two. He's coming back to the squad. He's getting better. Um, Pulisic is being very good, but now he's kind of adding to the squad. It would be good to see how they can act it out. And Luka Modric, of course, being perfect. And Milan with this win, top of the league. And yeah, it seems Allegri is working for them. That's it. That's about all the 5 leagues. There are a few games left of the week. Maybe we talk about them tomorrow after they play the game. There are some other stuff to talk about. Sorry, it was my note. There are some other stuff to talk about this weekend that may be very important around the world. A-League started in Australia. MLS and Korean League finished their regular season. Flamengo against Palmeiras in Brazil Serie A, being number 1 Palmeiras and Flamengo number 2, had a match last night, 3-1 to 3-2. Last goal I forgot. 3-2 to Flamengo, and they are almost at the end of their season. Not quite, but almost. So it was an interesting match to see the result. I just saw the result. And yeah, that's about that. That's for tonight. That's for today, or tonight, or whenever you're watching it. Show. And hopefully I can upload a video tomorrow as well. And hopefully every day, if I'm not sick. And I'm sorry about my voice and all that. And yeah, hopefully see you tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and tell me your thoughts. I will be willing to see what you have to say. Thank you. Have a good day.